Welcome back into Cullman today. With us this morning, Tony Glover representing the Alabama Cooperative Extension Office, but it is the Cullman office here, and we're always glad to see you because you've got a wealth of information. You amaze me to be able to do all this stuff in trees and shrubs and
well, we like to say if we don't know it, we probably know somebody that does.
So you do, don't you? You've got somebody in your office.
That's right.
You and Radonna Sims, both of you really amaze me. She's also there in that same office, and she wealth of information, and you both stay very busy, don't you?
We stay really busy, especially this time of year.
I bet. Now you got a program coming up in June on bats. And you know, believe it or not, we have bats right here in our community.
Yeah, if you get out at night sometimes and shine a light up in the air, you'll probably spot some of them. If you see what you may think is a bird kind of flying in an erratic sort of pattern,
right,
swooping in and out, then it may be a bat.
Maybe a bat.
Yeah, and so we definitely have them. And since they're nocturnal and usually coming out late in the evening, a lot of times people are not aware that they're in our environment, but they're actually doing us a lot of good.
Okay.
Because they really are voracious feeders on mosquitoes.
Wonderful.
So they can really knock down a population. So it's something that we'd like to have in our area and maybe even attract them. And so we thought, hey, let's do a program so that people that are interested in this topic and maybe even want to attract bats to their property to help control mosquitoes, that they'll have some information on how to do that. And so we do have a program coming to the North Alabama Agriplex Heritage Center over behind the Pinehart Farm area on June the 24th. 24th, okay. Be at 6 o'clock. And Norm Haley, who's also an extension employee, but he works strictly with aquatic and wildlife issues. And Norm's going to come over and do a program on this for the general audience. So people that are just novices in this, you're welcome. Children are welcome to come.
I noticed ages 8
and up.
That's
so
neat.
Kids even that young will be able to get a lot out of this program.
Right.
He's going to talk about bat habitat, what bats we'd likely to see here in Alabama, which ones are native to our area. He's also going to talk about what we can do in our own backyards and our own environments to help attract bats. And talk about building simple things like a bat house to give them a place to stay. So that they'll stay on your property.
Great. See, and let's go ahead. Michael, I think he's got some pictures. Let's take a look at these and see.
So that's a simple, there's a bat house, and so we're going to have some plans to show you how to build your own bat houses.
Where would they go in?
And they go in the little slot at the bottom there, and they just kind of hang. Like you've probably seen them in caves where they just kind of hang on the wall. So you're really just providing them a place to perch or to hang.
So they don't go in, they just hang.
They're going to be up in that slot. So they come in from the bottom there and just will hang on the inside. So they attach themselves to the wall. So it's unlike a birdhouse where they have a hole, they go in and make a nest. That's not the way bats live. They live attached to the wall. So you just have something for them to be protected. On both sides, but that they can attach themselves to.
Never thought about that. Let's go back to that gray bat. Is this something that we see
one of the
in this
native
area?
That's one of the native bats that's kind of making a comeback in Alabama, and there are some places where bats have been somewhat endangered just because the habitat loss. We don't have as many caves that haven't been explored, and people go in and kind of destroy the habitat, and bats are no longer there anymore. So providing them these places to live is important for them. Every now and then I'll get a call where people will have a problem with bats that get inside of homes.
Really?
Up in attics,
and chimneys,
spaces, and chimneys and things like that. And so providing them another place to move to is usually the best solution. To get them, outside of a home where you don't want them.
You don't want them.
Yeah.
Now I have a question about that. As far as the bat houses, say you put up 2 or 3 of those around, how in the world would they know? Do they is it an instinct to just?
They're going to find cracks and crevices that they can get up in that are protective. So they're looking for those sort of places. And when they find it, they'll go. Whether it's a hole in your attic that they can get in, and then start attaching to the wall, they're looking at it as if it was a cave. And so anything that they see that they can get up in, that they can attach to, will provide a good good home
goodness.
for them.
How about that? And folks, remember we said over 600 mosquitoes in 1 hour.
That's right.
That's a lot of mosquitoes.
Now, if people want to attend the program, they do need to contact Rachel Dawsey, who runs the North Alabama Agriplex, and sign up that they're planning to come. There is a $5 charge for the event. So we hope you'll decide to come out and learn a little bit about bats.
Learn a little bit, and the kids will be out of school, and the kids are out of school as of today.
It'll be a fun thing to do.
It'll be a fun thing to do, and great learning experience.
Right.
Any more pictures, Michael, on those bats?
None on the bat.
The gray bat, to me, that looked a little bit scary. I know I've seen some of the black ones, the really dark before.
Right.
But I've never
They're
seen
not
the gray.
really that big, the ones that you're likely to see. The
little,
look
aren't they?
big on the picture there, but most of the ones we see are not
just
very,
little, aren't they?
Very
just
small. Very small.
All right. So, and also our next class coming up would be on raptors. And
that's right.
If people don't know what a raptor is, when you first say it, you think of many different things. But what is a raptor?
Well, think about birds of prey. Primarily, we're thinking about everything from eagles, very large birds of prey, all the way down to very small owls. Hawks would be an example. Falcons, although we don't see them here, that's a type of birds of prey. Ospreys. So there are several different types of birds of prey, but they're carnivorous. They're feeding on other animals, usually on small rodents, snakes, and things like that. So that's what they're doing in the environment that really can benefit us, is they are helping control the population of those small mammals, many of those being rats and mice.
Wow, very interesting.
So
never thought about that.
So that's if you've never attended a birds of prey type presentation or demonstration, they're fascinating just to see these animals up close, and to see how powerful they are. And they're going to, this particular program that is on July 8th, that's also at the Agriplex, it starts at 5:30, we'll actually have some birds of prey there. Not sure what he's going to bring, but I'm sure he'll bring a hawk and probably at least one type of owl, maybe more.
So
the Alabama,
see it
that's right, be able to see it up close. The Alabama Wildlife Center is helping put on this program for us, and their educator, J.U. Banks, is going to come and do the presentation and the demonstration with the raptors that he brings.
Neat.
So this is going to be a really fun program. Kids will really enjoy this one as well.
Absolutely.
So I would definitely encourage people to come out and enjoy it. For $5, they're going to get a really nice program, but they're going to be educated at the end of it. And the whole purpose is for us to teach ourselves, teach others how to have an environment that's attractive to them, so that they will come and nest. And certainly for owls, one of the reasons we don't have as many owls is when we have a tree that's rotten in our yard, what do? We cut it down, remove it, right?
Exactly.
So we don't have those hollows in trees for owls to nest in.
That they like.
But we can put up an owl nest and a substitute for that, and provide them some habitat that they can survive in. So that's one of the things, simple things that he'll be talking about that we can do to help attract those. We know if we live in an urban environment, we have a food source. We've got mice, we've got rats, we've got rabbits. If anybody's like me, there's lots of rabbits around, and you know, this is one way that population can be controlled. And I'd rather control them with raptors than snakes.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yes, me too. So there's such a good thing, and we're going to take a look at some of these pictures and let you see.
You know, bald eagles have just been
beautiful.
The dramatic comeback story of the last 50 years, because they were down to nothing, almost extinct. And now we're seeing them everywhere, including right here in the Smith Lake area, nesting. And of course, they've been in the Gunnersville area for
a long time.
For several years. We're even hearing people saying they're seeing them on the edges of urban centers.
Really?
And if you go to, you know, the far Pacific Northwest, and even on up from Seattle to Canada, and then on up to Alaska, they're just everywhere up there. So they've made a tremendous comeback, but we're really enjoying seeing them come back to the southeast.
Absolutely.
As well.
So they used to be here and then they're gone. Red-tailed hawk.
Red-tailed hawk is going to be a real common one that we see, even if you live in an urban area. If you're driving around and you see a good-sized bird perched up on a power pole, just sitting there for a long time, it's looking for a food source, it's likely a red-tailed hawk or one of the other hawks, Cooper hawk or one of the other hawks, looking for a mouse or looking for a rat that it can swoop down and get. I've had the opportunity at least twice in the last year or two to actually see a hawk swoop down, catch a rodent, and one time catch a snake.
Really?
Saw that just within the last 2 weeks.
My good, right here in town, or was it out just a little ways?
Going just out west of town. I just left the interstate area, heading out 278 west, and saw a hawk flying over the road.
Well, I
looked
bet.
up and it had a snake in its talons.
Really?
Carrying it, so.
Unbelievable. So see,
really interesting.
I'm telling you. I asked Tony earlier, why did God make the owls, and he'll tell you that in a minute. But I'd never even thought about that for
same for the hawks. So that any of these birds of prey, that's you know, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Is they're out there helping control the small mammals, particularly rodents.
Exactly.
In
Oh,
our
thank
environment.
goodness.
And they can catch a bunch of them in one day.
In one day.
One day. It's
so
amazing.
I mean, that's what they're.
We don't notice the owls because they're doing all their work at night.
At night.
Whereas
Beautiful.
the hawk will see it in the daytime. But the owls, they're nocturnal, and so you're not going to notice those as much.
Sure.
Unless you're a night owl yourself and you're out there, you may spot them occasionally. But one of the bigger ones, the native bigger ones for us, is the great horned owl. And they're just a magnificent
They're beautiful
creatures. I hope he brings one of those, but they are big, so they're a bit harder to handle.
Look at the eyes on this one. I mean,
they're just beautiful creatures and so powerful. It's just amazing. And how silently they fly. I've attended some of these raptor shows where they'll actually put them in flight, where they're rehabilitating injured animals, and they can just glide right over the top of your head in almost complete silence.
wow.
You just can't even hear them coming. And of course, that's stealth for them to capture the
whatever they're going after.
That's right. They don't know they're coming.
Now this is beautiful.
The barn owl, that's a real common species for our area, and called a barn owl because you may find it nesting in barns.
In barns.
Right.
Look at that. I've never seen one.
Beautiful as well. But very important to our environment. Even smaller is the little screech owl. Also very important to our environment. Going to be a great feeder on small rodents, particularly on mice and voles and moles and things of that nature.
Okay.
So screech owls are really small, but very important to the environment.
Wow. Now, folks, you're not going to want to miss this class. It's coming up on
July the 8th for the Raptor class.
That's right.
And it does start a little earlier at 5:30.
Okay.
And they will need to call the North Alabama Agriplex.
Let them know you're
coming. Let them know you're coming.
Okay.
And you can pay at the door when you come the $5 registration fee.
Yeah, so that's got to be fun.
Children of all ages.
I was going to say children of all ages. Put it on your calendar. Kids will be out of school looking for something fun and interesting and educational. My goodness, this would be good for everybody, the entire family. So put that on your calendar. And Tony, thanks for sharing with us about both of those. And we'll tell you as time goes on the more about the dates too, or remind you. But when we come back for our second segment, we're going to talk about everything vegetables, vegetable gardening. We'll be back with more right after this.